Breaking, Mattis showed up in Pakistan and brought hell with him after they adjusted to US. The Mad Dog is pissed. And rightly so. It seems that Secretary of Defense James Mad Dog Mattis has now decided not to send full military reimbursements to the rogue terrorist nation of Pakistan after telling Congress that the country has not followed through on its promise to crack down on the Haqqani terror network. Wasn't Pakistan the nation who had 9/11 mastermind Osama bin Laden living right under the noses of their military for years without turning him over to U.S. authorities? In confirmation early this morning, Pentagon spokesman Adam Stump issued a statement saying that the funds, which us taxpayers are forced to pay, could not be released to the government of Pakistan at this time because the Secretary of Defense could not certify that Pakistan has taken sufficient action against the Haqqani network per the requirement in the 2016 National Defense Authorization Act. But Stump did go on to add that Pakistan did receive $550 million out of the max possible amount of $990 million for the fiscal year of 2016. Again, why are we paying this nation who clearly housed and protected Osama bin Laden for so many damned years? The Telegraph reports. U.S. raid that killed bin Laden was an act of war, says Pakistani report. The U.S. raid that killed Osama bin Laden at his secret compound in Pakistan amounted to an American act of war against the South Asian country, a government investigation into the operation has found. Pakistan's Abbottabad Commission, set up to probe the raid and previous efforts to capture the al-Qaeda leader, delivered a trenchant condemnation of the U.S. decision to unilaterally launch the operation inside Pakistani territory without seeking permission from the government in Islamabad. It painted the United States as an arrogant military power disdainful of the rights of other nations, over which it would drive roughshod in pursuit of its security goals. The Commission's report, leaked by Al Jazeera on Monday, denounced the U.S. action as the greatest humiliation suffered by Pakistan since 1971, when East Pakistan seceded to form Bangladesh. U.S. officials have justified the decision to keep Pakistan in the dark by suggesting there was a risk that the target might be tipped off. In an October presidential debate, President Barack Obama put it bluntly, "If we had asked Pakistan for permission, we would not have gotten him." The Pakistani government saw it differently. The raid demonstrated Washington's contemptuous disregard of Pakistan's sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity in the arrogant certainty of unmatched military might, the report stated. Officially lies in the U.S. fight against al-Qaeda. The already complicated relationship between Pakistan and the United States suffered a severe rift over the bin Laden operation. The tensions between U.S. and Pakistani security forces were illustrated in the report by interviews with Lieutenant General Ahmed Shuja Pasha, who headed Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence (ISI) at the time of bin Laden's killing. Lieutenant Gen Pasha said U.S. arrogance knew no limits and accused Washington of waging psychological warfare over the whereabouts of Taliban leader Mullah Omar and bin Laden's successor Manal Zawahiri. He quoted a U.S. intelligence officer as saying, "You are so cheap. We can buy you with a visa, with a visit to the U.S., even with a dinner, we can buy anyone." But the former ISI Director General himself criticized the Pakistani government for becoming too weak and dependent on Washington to stand up to its ally. He said that systemic failures showed Pakistan was a failing state. "We are a very weak state and also a very scared state," Lieutenant Gen Pasha told the commission. The report was also scathing of the Pakistani military's failure to respond rapidly to the 3-hour operation, 100 miles inside its territory. Pakistan eventually scrambled jets in response to the U.S. incursion, but the delay was such that U.S. forces had already concluded the operation and left Pakistani territory. The commission gave a damning indictment of how bin Laden was able to live in the country undetected for nearly a decade, accusing the Pakistani authorities of culpable negligence and incompetence for failing to pick up on clues as to his whereabouts. The report also stated that it could not disregard the possibility that current and former officials had provided plausibly deniable support to the al-Qaeda leader. However, it said it had not found evidence to substantiate allegations of official complicity. The ISU has been accused of colluding with the Taliban and al-Qaeda, an allegation it strongly denies. In the Commission's interviews, Lieutenant Jen Pasha also discussed the thorny issue of U.S. drone strikes on Islamic militants, revealing private double-dealing over a practice Pakistan has publicly condemned. The former intelligence chief explained that Pakistan and the United States had reached a political understanding over the strikes, which could be useful, the report said. Admittedly, the drone attacks had their utility, but they represented a breach of national sovereignty. They were legal according to American law but illegal according to international law, the commission quoted the eyes ahead as saying. Lieutenant Jen Pasha said the Americans had been asked to halt drone strikes because of civilian casualties but added that while it was easier to say no in the beginning, now it was more difficult to do so. He also confirmed that the U.S. had conducted drone strikes against targets in Pakistan from the Shamsi air base in the country's southwest. Pakistan ordered U.S. military personnel off the base after 24 Pakistani soldiers were accidentally killed in U.S. airstrikes in November 2011. Mattis' reluctance to certify that Pakistan has aggressively cracked down on terror groups may be part of the Trump administration's overall effort to put pressure on Pakistan and other rogue nations. And it's about damn time. There is no reason why us American taxpayers need to pay for nations which are known to be hotbeds of terrorism in order for them to clean up their act. I never expected this to happen under Barack Hussein Obama, but when the U.S. found out that the Pakistani military was protecting Osama bin Laden, they should not have only gone after the compound where he was staying, but also all Pakistani military installations. I never expected this to happen under President Barack Hussein Obama, but when the U.S. found out that the Pakistani military was protecting Osama bin Laden, they should not have only gone after the compound where he was staying, but also all Pakistani military installations. But then again, maybe it was good that we didn't take that course of action. Because if we had, we would now be stuck paying to rebuild the installations in the Pakistani military. Please share if you are tired of funding terrorist states. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.